What are the facts of this case? Bruce, I don't know anything about this case. Well, let me tell you about this case. She cut her boyfriend's head off, drained his body of blood into a bucket. But other than that, she's got good character.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And he's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. How lucky are you? I'm lucky because you're there and I'm here and we're doing something symbiotically, right? Big word for a $3 lawyer. Anyway, today we're reacting to Taylor Schabusiness. She's in our business because we're in the business of talking about Taylor Schabusiness. But before we get to that, let's talk about a couple of different things, okay? Number one, I'm coming to you with my Irish cufflinks today, so graciously gifted to me by my sweetheart and fiance, Irish maiden, Clodagh. And we're also joined behind the camera with Nick and Ed, or Robert, as we like to call him. And we are sponsored by askalawyer.com. Yes, that's right. askalawyer.com. And if you go to askalawyer.com, I am now the official spokesperson as of August 1st of askalawyer.com. So you'll see my mug on there. And if I put my mug on there, guess what? You know it's quality folks. They're the same people that brought you eForm and eSign. So askalawyer.com. What is it? Where is it? Go to askalawyer.com. If you can spell that on your Google machine, go to askalawyer.com and it will help you determine if you need a lawyer. You know, they have live lawyers for $49, pretty cheap, to get an initial consultation, and you'll be able to figure out, oh shit, I really don't have a case. Now I can just put that on the back burner and sleep well. Or I really do have a case, and now I know the next steps. Or if you're doing your own research, they've got AI, like Grandma can abuse her computer privileges. That's why I take them away every third week and just throw a bag of Doritos down there, and then she just, comes up with Dorito stained underwear. But anyway, I don't want to talk about Grandma. If you look at their AI component, you can do your own legal research because it's trained on all the 50 states. So askalawyer.com is an effective tool for you to get legally where you need to go. So askalawyer.com. They're a great sponsor for the channel, so give them some love. All right, Taylor Schabusiness. Oh my God. Has there been a more despicable human being? Do you remember what her case was about? Let's go back and we did a reaction to her so you can get a sense of what her case was about. So here's my old reaction. Let's see. Should we do a dream sequence? Remember, she was with her boyfriend and they had a nice evening at home. Remember when I talked last episode, we talked about, having a pizza at home. Well, instead of having a pizza, she decided to chop up her boyfriend and put him in a bucket. First degree intentional homicide. Repeater. That means she's got a prior criminal history. Mutilating a corpse. Third degree sexual assault. And you remember, she assaulted her defense lawyer. And I'm assuming this is a different guy, but I'm not entirely sure. Another satisfied customer. I got a call one night on New Year's Eve. And it's my client's brother. And my client was driving around with his dead girlfriend in the back of the car. And they wanted to know what we should do. I said, well, just drop it off over at my office partner's house. He's in Florida. He's got an alibi. Other body parts were found in the basement in other bags, including plastic shopping bags, along with 3 knives, including a bread knife consistent with kitchen knives located in a storage tote. An upper torso was located. The upper torso had numerous rigid cuts in the side where the head was removed, consistent with a separated head. Also located in the tote was a carving knife, consistent with the kitchen knife, and several internal organs. So when you get a case like this as a defense lawyer, you sort of have to say, oh shit. Schabusiness responded the police was going to have fun. The police were going to have fun trying to find all the organs as she dismembered the body. Can you imagine having to represent somebody like this? Here's the thing. Our system of justice requires it. It does require that everybody gets the same rights. Everybody gets a defense. And so one of the things you can, the defense doesn't have any burden. It's all on the state to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, right? So when you come to the beginning of the trial, after you've selected a jury, and try to find somebody who can be fair, give me a break, comes the time for opening statements. The prosecution goes first, and then the defense gives their opening statement. However, the defense can reserve opening statement and give it in their case in chief. In my experience, I've done this only a couple times. This is one of those times where I would reserve my closing argument and give it in my case in chief. And the only defense you have is really a mental health defense. That she was not in her right state of mind when this happened, or to argue a lesser included. A lesser included is like you have murder. Murder 2 is a lesser included in murder 1. Depraved heart murder is it's got different elements, but you have lesser crimes that you could, because she's clearly guilty of something, but to try to get it off of murder 1, anything less than murder 1 is a victory. What is her defense? Her defense is that I didn't really intend to kill him, and I was out of my mind. So and I went crazy. So it's really more of a mental case. You didn't hear any of that from the defense. All you heard was him just basically reiterate the complaint that I just read you, and he just says you're gonna just keep an open mind. Keep an open mind, nothing to see here. Give me a fucking break. And I don't mean to impugn the character of this lawyer. He's got an unenviable job, but I wouldn't have given my opening statement then. I would have waited. You can do that, and then when you start your case, but maybe you don't have anything, and so why is she going to trial if she's so guilty? Because there's no offer on the table except for probably life without parole. I don't know. I don't remember if Wisconsin still has the death penalty. I think they might. So they're looking at life without parole here, not the death penalty. They haven't had the death penalty for over 150 years in Wisconsin. But what a woman! What a and this is all I can say is this has got to be fueled by drugs and or mental illness. But you didn't hear any of that coming from the defense, did you? You didn't hear, you're going to hear from Dr. So-and-so. You didn't hear, you're going to see that when all is said and done, that Miss Schabusiness was not in her right state of mind. You didn't get any foreshadowing any of it. All you got was, there's a lot of really gross shit in this case, and it's going to point to my client, but you're going to have to analyze people's credibility and just... keep an open mind. Could you keep it? I guarantee you that from those two opening statements, the prosecutor probably did a very similar opening statement, except for with just a little more invective.
It's the decision of this court and the judgment of the law that Ms. Schabusiness be sentenced as follows. As to in 22 CF 363, count 1, that's the first degree intentional homicide as a repeater. It's a Class A felony. Going to impose life imprisonment without the possibility of extended supervision. I believe that's appropriate in light of the findings that I've already made. As far as count 2, mutilation of a corpse as a repeater, Class F felony, I'm going to...
Now, sometimes when you have a title of an offense, it can be very descriptive. Mutilation of a corpse sounds like something you'd find on Halloween. But it's sort of academic because, she's getting life without parole. And some people might ask, well, why do they even bother with that? Just because they want all the conduct to be accounted for.
Adopt the recommendation of the pre-sentence investigation writer, 7.5 years of initial confinement followed by 4 years of extended supervision. That'll be consecutive to count 1.
So which means if by some hook or crook the legislature changes things and she gets out early, that sentence is added on top of the life.
As far as count 3, third-degree sexual assault as a repeater, Class G felony.
We don't need to watch the rest of that because it's just more of the same. So this is our reaction to Taylor Schabusiness. Now we're back. Okay. she's back in the news. And Taylor Schabusiness, evidently she was getting some medical treatment because Lord knows we need to treat her, in a Schabusiness-like manner. And she takes a tray and she hits somebody with it, and then fucks with a guard. And, she's so rotten and she's so mean. Look here's her boyfriend. Poor Shad Thyron. Therion, her sexual partner and person whose cock she took off, and then she had body parts in a damn cooler, and then got popped by a cop. Oh, by the way, don't look in the back seat. I think I got some body parts back there. This guy, look at this picture, just looks like, hey, look at me. Cut my cock off and shove it in my mouth. Kill me, please, kill me. Somebody like Schabusiness does not belong on the street because ostensibly she's sober now, right? She's sober. Why would she be sober? Because she's in fucking prison. Some of these, you can't make this up. So she was charged and convicted with first-degree intentional homicide and third-degree sexual assault and mutilating a corpse. In other words, after she killed him, she choked him to death while she was fucking him. And then not only did she do that, she did it because she wanted to. She wasn't being assaulted. She just wanted to see what it felt like to kill somebody. And then she chopped his body up. She tried the old insanity defense, and that doesn't work. People always think, oh, it's so easy to just say you're crazy. Oh, I just, my head's up my ass. No, it doesn't work like that. So she was sentenced to life in prison without parole. So guess what she has to lose? Nothing. If you can see this picture of her here, they have her in court with a spit mask on because she can't be trusted and she can't control herself. So in July of 2020, a year ago, and now they're just getting to court on this, she attacked a prison guard while serving her sentence at the Tay-Cheetah Correctional Institution in Wisconsin. And according to the criminal complaint, she lunged at a nurse during a medical procedure. And when the sergeant intervened, she struck the guard with a tray and swung a small table, leading her to be restrained with pepper spray. Honestly, if you are charged or convicted, if you're serving a life sentence, I almost think who cares? They should just let the prison deal with her. Why put her through this system? But, you have to go back through the system, right? So on April 4th, she had a preliminary hearing. What's a preliminary hearing? Preliminary hearing, so you're charged by complaint, and then you have a preliminary hearing to determine whether there's probable cause to move forward to a jury, basically. And so they put witnesses on, and it's just really a perfunctory type of thing because you only need probable cause to get past the preliminary. And so probable cause, as you know, is just slightly more true than not true. So let's just kind of watch her sit there with her public defender. Now remember, she's attacked more than one defense lawyer sitting next to her. Oh, I almost would love that because, I'm not into hitting women at all, but she's not a woman. She's an urchin. She's just a fucking orb that never needs to be on the street again. So let's just see what happens in court here. First mistake, never turn your fucking back on this woman. Dumb shit. Never turn your back on her. Where's my client? Oh, God. I haven't seen this, by the way. Look at, she's just waiting to fucking act up. See that little smile on her face? And you remember when she was in court last, well, not last, but a long time ago, she's, I love you, Daddy. Daddy says I'm the best kisser.
All right, the court will call 24 CF 1048, State of Wisconsin versus Taylor Schabusiness. Appearances.
Gordon Leach for the state.
Taylor Schabusiness is personally present. She is in custody with Attorney Curtis Jelka.
All right, this matter is set for a preliminary hearing today. Mr. Jelka, what's the status?
Your Honor, my understanding is we are proceeding.
All right, Mr. Leach.
Your Honor, I'm just checking in on the status of my officer. I expected her to be here, but I'm also having connectivity problems here. I might need to run upstairs and see if she may be upstairs.
First of all, it's a preliminary hearing, so it's in person with live witnesses. But when somebody's serving life imprisonment, or life in prison, I think that they should not even allow her to be in court because she's such a fucking can't understand the normal thinking person.
If I can have him.
Sure.
And Judge, it sounds like just one witness. We're asking for a sequestration, but that may be a moot point.
All right.
It is one witness, Your Honor.
All right.
Oh, fuck, that scared me. Holy shit, that startled the shit out of me. What the fuck? Oh my God. We have to watch that again. Let's watch it again. That scared the shit out of me. Oh my God.
It is one witness, Your Honor.
He's like, oh, whatever, you know. I mean, holy shit. See how fast those fucking deputies were on her? They knew she was going to do something like this. Now, Taylor Schabusiness. And now it's another assault in court. So what happens when you have the public defender, and this is like the second or third one that you've attacked? I think you forfeit your right to a public defense. Honestly. I mean, it's like, well, we tried to give you a lawyer, but you keep fighting with them. So I don't think, remember, what's her name? What's that chick's name? Boone, Sarah Boone. Remember Sarah Boone? How many lawyers she went through? Why was the court continuing to give her lawyers? Give her a lawyer. Doesn't work out. I get that. That can happen sometimes. Give her a second lawyer. Maybe not. Give her a third lawyer. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. She went on to her fucking ninth lawyer, and that guy just responded to some dumb ad because he thought he'd get some publicity. You know, people were there. I remember when that was going on, there were comments that I should try to get that case and blah, blah, blah. Fuck that. Go out to Ohio to be abused by that chick, you know, just for what? Because it's a famous case. There's a huge famous case right now out of Nevada that I've been asked to be a lawyer on. And I could take it right now and get all kinds of publicity. Publicity doesn't feed the children. So I'm not doing that. Plus, you know, when you take cases just for publicity, those guys are scraping off the bottom of your shoe. So, okay, so her lawyer fucking withdrew. Big surprise there. Following withdrawal, her appellate counsel, Wisconsin State Public Defense, has declined to appoint new representation. Subsequently, she missed the extended deadline, effectively ending her ability to continue her appeal unless she secures her own lawyer. Oh my God, she's such a piece of shit. So on June 3rd, a hearing in Fond du Lac County established that Schabusiness will face trial on the battery. In other words, there's probable cause. You know, generally you don't want character evidence to come in, but what just happened in court? Bye-bye. Let's just take a look at this clip here.
Convicted murderer Taylor Schabusiness will stand trial in late October on charges of attacking an officer at Taycheedah Correctional.
But wait, isn't there a charge of attacking your fucking lawyer? So no, she didn't. I don't think she really touched him. Is that assault? Of course it is. You don't have to touch somebody for assault. It's the imminent apprehension of bodily harm. That is what assault is. That, and if you go like this, that is assault. It's also an attempted assault too.
7 deputies wheeled Schabusiness into a Fond du Lac County courtroom today, where the judge warned her not to have any outbursts. During her homicide trial in 2023, Schabusiness notoriously lunged at her defense attorney, and back in April, she attacked another attorney in this latest case.
So the court has really unfettered discretion how they handle their courtroom. If I were the judge, I'd say, you are too dangerous. You've done this too many times. You can only appear remotely by Zoom or whatever it is, ITV or whatever, from your prison cell or from your prison. We're not transporting you. We're going to give you access to everything that you would normally have, but we're not letting you come into this courtroom.
Schabusiness is charged with battery by a prisoner for attacking a sergeant at Teachita last July with a repeat offender enhancer. She's already serving life in prison.
So in other words, it doesn't fucking matter.
And for murdering and dismembering Shad Therian, she does not have parole. Court records allege she was taken to the medical room for a staple in her arm. When the nurse got tweezers, Schabusiness lunged at the nurse. The sergeant intervened. Schabusiness swung a metal table and struggled with the officer until they were able to subdue her with pepper spray. Her trial for the attack will be in October. It's expected to go about 3 days.
Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. So here's a little note. She says, I'm a voluntarily dismiss the no merit. Sometimes, in federal court, they call it an Andrews brief. But sometimes if you don't have any issues for appeal, it's called a no merit or an Andrews brief. And basically you're just telling the court, I want you to review the record, basically. And they always get, turned away. And she wants to extend the time for a post-conviction motion. Love Schabusiness. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about her. Some people just do not belong out of prison. Now, I'm not one for harsh punishment. I mean, I'm a defense lawyer. We try to work on our cases and we try to make sure that people are taken care of, and sometimes they can rehab. In fact, I've had quite a number of cases where my clients were on drugs or some other kind of thing was going on, and we delay, and all of a sudden they've done really good work and they've changed their life around. I had a guy just recently charged with a bunch of stuff from a few years ago in 2 different counties, and he had a long history, points off the grid, but he started his own business. He went through treatment. He's counseling others. He's speaking at sober events. He got into bodybuilding and powerlifting or whatever the heck he did. And so he's training for that. He's got a new wife. He's got a child on the way. Just all these things, over 3 years. Well, that's somebody you take a chance on. Taylor Schabusiness is somebody you feed a veggie loaf. Have you ever seen this thing that they have? I think they do it in Chicago jails. They have this veggie loaf, and it is just doesn't taste like anything, but it has all the nutrients that you're supposed to have. So it's not bread, it's not ham, it's not a steak, it's not a chicken sandwich. No, it's just a fucking veggie loaf. And I think they call it something else, but it's just this. It's prison. It's just to sustain you. That's it. Mealtime is no joy because it tastes like bottom of your shoe. That's what Taylor Schabusiness needs. Taylor, I will voluntarily be your lawyer. No, I won't. Not without a fucking hockey helmet. Jesus Christ. I mean, honestly, if I was the judge, I would not let her in my courtroom again. I'd say, you have, remember what they did with Daryl Brooks? They didn't let him sit in the courtroom because he was just disruptive the whole time. So he had to go to another courtroom by himself and appear by Zoom. I just don't, I guess when you're that fucked, what difference does it make, I remember, I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. I am sitting there with a client of mine who had the biggest fucking forearms I've ever seen. He had dreads, charismatic son of a bitch, really, really nice guy. And he was in custody on a murder too. And he was looking at 25 years. And the prosecutor was an old cop, retired cop. And so he became a lawyer after that and became a prosecutor. He had just been needling my client. I think I've shown you that clip where the lawyer looks over. It's in one of the rap videos. He says, hope you like prison food, that kind of shit, And we get the verdict. The verdict's coming in, and we're sitting down, and my hands are sweaty, I mean, you ever take a verdict, it's like your heart's pumping. He leans over to me and he says, if it's guilty, I'm jumping over this fucking table, and I'm going to eat that prosecutor alive. And he was going to beat the shit out of the prosecutor, and he could have done it too. And he would have gotten a couple licks in, and then the deputies. You see how fast these deputies responded. These guys wouldn't have responded. These guys were waiting for her to do something. They knew she was gonna, and they wanted it. if I was that lawyer, I would have loved a cold cocker. I mean, I'm not about hitting women, but I wouldn't have minded defending myself by punching her in the throat. My client says this to me, and as an officer of the court, what am I supposed to do? You know, deputies, he just said, you know, because it's not privileged. That's not privileged information. But I didn't give a shit. The prosecutor was an asshole. And I figured, well, you know, the prosecutor sort of deserves it in a way. And if it's, you know, and the deputies will get him, you know, he won't be able to do much. And it'll be fun to watch. Lucky for the prosecutor, the jury came back with a not guilty. And so he walked out of that courtroom as opposed to being dragged out of into the holding cell. That's our little reaction to Miss Taylor Schabusiness. And I want you guys to know that, first of all, let's talk a little bit about some business, some Bruce to business, okay? So I don't know who's sending me all this shit, but I mean, I know it's not shit, it's nice stuff. Candles, somebody's sending me these candles. Nobody's put their name on it. I can't show you the other things because they're too big, but I'm going to put them together and we'll have them here in the office. But somebody sent me a bar, you know, a globe was with Atlas holding the world on his shoulders, and you open it up and it's a globe and it's a bar. Very nice. Somebody sent me a decanter, whiskey decanter. I do drink some scotch on occasion. I try not to drink too much. Moderation is the key, and nothing good happens after midnight. Remember that, children. Just some other stuff without anybody telling me who it is. So I appreciate it, but I am not demanding gifts from anybody. I appreciate it, you know, and so many well wishes about Michael. And, you know I talk about him almost every episode, but he's right here, you know, what can I do? So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, and we've got Nick and Eddie, or Robert, whoever he is, here with us, and we'll see you next time in Criminal Lawyer. Now, we have also started a Facebook page, and so we're putting some of our old stuff up on the Facebook page, like some of the, you know, Ace, Young and Ace, and some of the rap ones that we've done in the past. So check those out, and I think we have about 2,000 or 3,000 people on that so far. So we're going to build that up too. And then I'm going to LA in the middle of August. Going to do what's his name? Adam No Jumper, Adam 22. And so I think I'll be doing that. Cross your fingers. And we're going to be ramping things up, and we're going to start a podcast too. Just waiting for us to develop the studio. So a lot of good things coming. So make sure you follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, sign up for Patreon, go to Twitter, and go to clrbrucerivers.com for all your merch needs. And we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, please, is that my God?